Distinguished colleagues, while we are engaged in the local elections and dealing with the main opposition party issue, and as we take precautions to further recover our economy, we never have neglected our task of protecting the interests of our country. The developments taking place in Syria and Iraq, issues as regards East Mediterranean, Cyprus, and the Agency, and in the same fashion, Black Sea and Caucasia-related matters are closely followed. In particular, regarding the Syrian issue, we are going through a critical period. Turkey in Syria has adopted a principled stance right from the beginning. About the territorial integrity of Syria, the rights of the Syrian people to destinate their own future, about the new constitution and free elections to be held, we have been exhibiting the same determined attitude all the way from the beginning. Hosting more than 3.5 million Syrian refugees within its territories, we have shouldered the heaviest humanitarian load of this crisis. And more importantly, Turkey is the only country that has actually fought against the terror organizations and earned success. In the Euphrates operation, shield operation, we have wreaked havoc on Daesh, about which many stories were speculated, and we have neutralized 3,000 terrorists. Thanks to our gallant soldiers, the Daesh bubble has burst, and Syria, in a speedy manner, has started to get rid of this predicament. But the message from Israel cannot be accepted. It is not possible for us to accept that. In this country, who are my Kurdish citizens? YPG, PYD. Who are they? Who is PKK? Most probably they do not know them. Never. PKK, YPG, PYD, terror groups can never be the representatives of my Kurdish brothers and sisters. So, if the USA is evaluating them, taking them as our Kurdish brothers and sisters, then they are mistaken. These members of the terrorist groups, no matter if they are coming from the Turkish groups or the Arab or the Kurdish, doesn't matter. If they are terrorists, we will do what's necessary and we will overcome them. In other words, so if they are terrorists, you cannot say that, well, these are Kurdish, do not touch them. No, there's no such thing. Do you have a new definition for terrorism? There's no such thing. It goes the same for the Arab. It goes the same for the Turk, for the Turkmen. The terrorists can come from those groups all. If they are terrorists, we will do what's necessary. And about that subject, Bolton made a very significant, serious mistake. And those who think in the same way are also mistaken. And in this regard, it is never possible for us to compromise on that. And within the terrorist corridor in Syria, those who are stationed there will learn the due lessons. For us, there is not a slight difference among PYD, PKK, YPG, or Daesh.
Aynı şekilde Zeytin Dalı Harekatı'yla da
Similarly, as you know, we have upsetted another game with the Operation Olive Branch. Thanks to the agreement we have with Russia and Iran, we have averted the inception of a new humanitarian crisis in Idlib. And in Manbij, we have been kept busy by America, and we still are, but we have still covered a mileage there. And also we have exhibited our determination about the partnership, about the stance against Daesh in the Euphrates Shield. And the phone conversation we had with Mr. Trump over the phone is marking a major turning point in this regard. In this conversation, we have clearly expressed our discontent about the partnership they had with the terror group in Manbij in the east of Euphrates. Upon Trump's association of this partnership with the existence of Daesh in the region, I have expressed my opinion that they would not need PKK or PYD for that reason, and Turkey could put up with the struggle against Daesh. And upon our suggestion, Mr. Trump expressed that he already had intentions to withdraw from Syria, and he would ensure that immediately in case Turkey took over the fight against the remaining elements of Daesh. And we have made all the promises to take all the initiatives as regards that manner. Following that, we have made decisions to give the due instructions to our team so that they could elaborate on the details of the matter. But I should also raise another issue. An issue we had with the American administration before has yet again come to our way after this talk. Although we have come to clear terms with Mr. Trump, different voices have started to rise from different ranks of the administration. Together with this, Mr. Trump's perspective about Syria and his determination to withdraw keeps being our reference point. Pertaining to the agreement we have had with Mr. Trump, we have to a great extent completed our preparations for a military operation to be launched against Daesh elements still active in Syria, and very soon we are determined to take actions to neutralize the last Daesh elements in Syrian territories. If there are other terrorists who will try to impede our action, of course it will be our obligation to overcome them as well.
Eyvallah.
Thank you.
Sınırlarımızın dibinde ülkemize yönelik hazırlık yapan bir terörist güruhuna izin vermemizi bekleyenler varsa,
if there are those out there who expect that we will tolerate a terror group making preparations against our country right next to our border, I already now would like to state that they're mistaken. For those who have still not fully grasped the sensitivity and the determination of Turkey about Syria, it will not tire us to explain this matter over and over again, but of course we will have a couple of things to say to those who stand by the terror groups, even though they know about our sensitivity, and we will express those words to their faces, and we will do so. Turkey has always been a country who delivered on the promises it made, and we expect the same from our allies. Distinguished friends, the more initiative we have taken about the Syrian issue, the more lies and manipulations have started to circulate. Those who cast the aspersion that Turkey will make a massacre on the Kurds in Syria actually know the real reality behind the matter very well. The purpose of such discourse is to make an influence on the decisions of those who don't have a full grasp of the matter in Syria, and also to influence the international public opinion. To protect their lives and future, those who come from Syria have never been asked and never will about their religion, ethnicity, roots, or whatsoever. About 200,000 Kurdish brothers and sisters who host them in their country. Is it the West or another country in the world? They live in our country under the umbrella of our security, and you will not recognize that and claim that Kurds, that we will not be killing Kurds. We will not do so. We will kill the terrorists. To kill the terrorists, we will go into Gabar, Manbij, Tendrek, and do what's necessary. We did the same in the past, and we will do the same in the future. And we said that we will go down into their dens, and we have been doing so. For example, when Saddam Hussein initiated an attack on the north of Iraq, we opened our gates to 500,000 people with no hesitation. When Assad administration made a pressure on the people in Syria, regardless of their roots and ethnicities, we have defended and stood for the rights of all. Those who stigmatize the oppressed by designating them as Turks, Arabs, Kurds, actually are partners with the tyrant. For us, every person in the region is like brothers and sisters with whom we have broken the same bread, drank the same water, shared the same happiness and sadness. Turkey never goes to a place to destroy a society or community. Turkey only goes to a place to take action, to make survive, to bring peace and trust, and to conquer hearts. The only exception for us is the terror groups. Just like there are some terrorists among the Arab, the Turk, there could, of course, be terrorists among the Kurd, and we have seen so. And in such a case, we don't take the identity of the terrorist into account. We rather look into the fact about what they do with the guns in their hands, at whom they point their guns, or the actions they take, the blood they shed, the oppression they make. In the previous years, the terrorists who raided an entertainment venue on the New Year's Eve and killed 39 people, a terrorist from Daesh is no different, actually, than the terrorist who killed 46 people in Beşiktaş district of Istanbul. Off of our borders, dropping bombs, launching missiles, shooting with long-barreled weapons, claiming the lives and the properties of the citizens. Well, there are people who commit those crimes, and their identity is not our concern, but what they do is, we never discriminate the Turkish population based on the ethnicity. We have never do so for our neighbors, and we will never do so. That is why the lie that the Kurds are targeted in Syria is the most despicable, ignoble, ugliest lie, and it's an aspersion, a slander.
Değerli kardeşlerim,
my distinguished brothers and sisters, when Daesh attacked the Ain al-Arab and Kobani cities next to our borders, we never hesitated to open our gates and hearts to those who fled from it. And even though there was the probability that among them some could have been terrorists, we still have exhibited that virtuous attitude. When PKK, PYD took the control of those cities, about 100,000 of those brothers and sisters kept living in our country, because they know well that when a terrorist group is replaced by another, neither their lives nor their properties will be protected, nor will their honors. As a matter of fact, this is what has happened. Wherever the separatist terrorist groups dominated locations in Syria, they oppressed people there. They seized their properties, bothered children, and disrupted the peace of people with aspersion, threats, and blackmail. The claim that PKK, PYD fight against Daesh is a massive lie, but nothing else. My brothers and sisters, the fight between these two terror groups is not a conflict of interest, but principles. When Daesh is replaced by PKK, PYD, in terms of the innocent people, except for the rags on the buildings, there will be nothing changed. In fact, well, the fact that Turkey targets these two terrorist groups is not ensuing from an ethnic or religious reason, yet on the contrary, from the politics Turkey has adopted against those terror groups. We suggest the same to our American and European friends. Leaving the Syrian people under the slaughter of the Syrian regime or under the tyrant terror groups will not be fit to us. And the Gilets jaunes in France, the Yellow Vests, we know that among those people also there are some PKK members. They should see that reality, and the same will take place tomorrow in other countries. That terrorist group called PKK is feeding on them, takes its power from them. It's like a boomerang. Those who try to give us ideas should first test their own conditions. As the country on its own that has been shouldering the humanitarian load of this process, while no one can expect us to give up on the continuity of our country for the sake of their own current interests. Well, as people who took the risk of death on July the 15th for the future and for the freedom, we will never hesitate to do so in Syria as well.
Bu vesileyle, evet, geçen günlerde ne yazık ki bir öğrencisi tarafından öldürülerek şehit olan Ceren öğretmene, onun şahsında tüm öğretmenlerimize Allah'tan rahmet diliyorum. Daha yeni yaptık ya. Daha yeni yaptık. Engellilerle ilgili atamaları daha yeni yaptık.
We have made some appointments about teachers.
Yok galiba, takip etmiyorsunuz.
I guess you haven't very much closely followed the news.
Zehra Hanım burada mı? Zehra Hanım kaç kişi atadık?
Zehra, how many people have we appointed? The disabled? People appointed so far, how many? I can't hear you.
Bak 5000 engelliyi
So
daha şu
5,000
anda bir ay bile olmadı atamasını yaptı.
disabled teachers. Not even
Sözlerime
in a full month, we
Erzurumlu İbrahim
have
Hakkı
actually appointed
Hazretleri'nin
them all.
hissiyatımızı yansıttığına inandığım
I would like to finalize my words by
şiiriyle
the
şöyle
poem
demek istiyorum.
by Ibrahim Hakkı.
Biliyor musun? Hak şerleri ayrı eyler. Zannetme ki gayrı eyler. Arif anı seyreyler. Aferin. Mevla görelim neyler, neylerse güzel eyler.